Nice and gently, Kostya. Що ти робиш, Товічка?
Алекс Тренч. Давай. Привіт.
Молодець. Живий, здоровий, слава Богу.
Кажу, поставте, блядь, на режим керувати телефоном.
The Ukrainian artillery is firing from outside of our house, which means the Russians are going to return fire. And you know where they're going to return fire? Outside of our house. Exactly. So if you don't see this, it's because we're all fucking dead. And immediately after this, I'll play the sound of the fucking shit. Fuck. Firstly, yes, scared every time. It's absolute hell on the front. There were 2 occasions that I went down in Chasafyar visiting our sniper positions up in the apartment blocks at the time. And the last time, as you saw in the video, was in Kupiansk, Kharkiv region. And we were delivering thermal imaging drones and camo nets to the front. And yeah, I didn't expect to be nearly hit by an artillery shell. And then subsequent FPV drones, which were hell, absolutely terrifying. For the guys, it was just a day in the life, getting pinned down by artillery and FPV drones and just waiting until a possible moment where we could run to get out of that specific location and place. But yeah, the sounds of the FPV drones is terrifying for everyone, even a veteran soldier, because you know they're coming to hunt you. And you just hear the straight over the top and wondering if it's going to plow into your position, of which you do not have too much protection against. But the soldiers were completely steadfast. They were there and they were not leaving. Дуже дякую to everyone who donated for this drone. It is an Autel 4T Max, and we're here in the trenches with the guys. Slava Ukraini.
Героям слава! Дуже дякую.
Дякую, everyone. They laughed at the fact that we came to join and were wondering what the hell was going on, and we said we were bringing them snacks and treats and drones and freshly baked loaves of bread, which made them laugh. But yeah, these soldiers were completely ready to continue. They were and they are the heroes of Ukraine. They have no fear. They were there to protect us till the end. Surprisingly all supportive, although some calling me an idiot for wearing a bright red hoodie whilst walking towards the front lines, and you're obviously meant to be camouflaged in the woods. But yeah, they were incredibly supportive of the fact that I would go there for the troops, because it was going there, showing them support, showing them that people from Lviv will come all the way to the very front lines to show that we're a united country. Один Україна.
Ми бійці 2-го стрілецького батальйону 93-ї окремої механізованої бригади «Холодний Яр» висловлюємо щирі слова вдячності Річарду Вудрафу за посильну допомогу підрозділу та за 2 роки підтримки Збройних сил України у боротьбі з одвічним ворогом. Разом до перемоги!
She said no. She said, you cannot go, you will not go. You listen to me, you're my son, and you're not going to Ukraine. So I said, okay, I'm going to Poland. I'm going to Krakow. I will find a way to help there. And then cross the border following that. I headed back to England for 2 or 3 days to tell her, to say, hey, I was in Ukraine the whole time, and she said, "You're an idiot, but you're home now and you're safe and you're not going back to Ukraine, so that's all fine." And I said, in 2 days I have a flight back, so I'm ready to leave and I'm about to go, and you can't stop me.
So yeah, the story, the video, oh, amazing. Wow. Oh wow. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Oh. The Titanic sank.
When I first heard about the war, I was living in Spain. As everyone, we saw it on the mainstream media and news. We saw the tanks rolling towards the borders of Ukraine, and we were all in absolute shock and horror that it could be happening.
9 o'clock here in the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Breaking news this morning, it's war. President Putin announces the start of a military operation.
On that same morning, we all went out into the streets of Malaga, where I was living at the time, with our Ukrainian flags and signs, and petitioning to close the skies over Ukraine and do something as NATO to be able to help. But obviously that support never came. But yeah, we were on the streets in our hundreds in Malaga, protesting and trying to make sure that the world was kind of seeing what was happening in Ukraine and paying attention to it. Made me book my flights and actually come to Ukraine was seeing them digging the graves of Bucha and all of the horrific atrocities that were coming out, being shown all over BBC News, and yeah, that's what made me actually get my flights over. But I'd spent the 2 months prior to that planning how to completely shift my life from Spain to Ukraine. I was believing when I came to Lviv it would be a complete war zone. The most terrific part was Bucha, seeing the Russian footprints on the gates of every Ukrainian home, knowing that meant that they were broken into and the people inside were pulled out to be killed or tortured. Bucha was horrific, and especially coming from Lviv, it was night and day, no ward to war. I just by chance bumped into a very wonderful man whose YouTube account is Harold Balder in a coffee shop in Lviv, and I ran up to him and said, Geraldo, I know you, you're the man off of YouTube. And he said, I can meet you in 1 hour, I just have a very important meeting with this guy about Ukraine and helping the army. And yeah, an hour later I kind of met with the guy, took him around Lviv, and he said, why are you not telling the world what you're doing in Ukraine, like that you're volunteering? And he started explaining to me about NAFO, the North Atlantic Fellow Organization. And yeah, it all spiraled from there, and that was how the Twitter account was formed. All through Geraldo. I donated to, I think, Saint Javelin at the time. That was how it all started, and then I became so entrenched by speaking with almost every single member of NAFO back then that it became my family. And then I was the NAFO chef that everyone knew, even though I was never a chef. And the BBC telling people I'm a chef.
Mugga, mugga, NAFO, NAFO, fella, fella, drama.
You called Green Moscow Marjorie. The nickname seems to have really taken off.
Favorite meme of NAFO? I really think it might be Muga now. The Muga Muga NAFO NAFO fella song.
Muga, muga, NAFO, NAFO, fella, fella, drama. Them basic bitches hear that shit, so I don't even bother. Muga, muga, NAFO, NAFO, fella, fella, drama. Them basic bitches hear that shit, so I don't even bother.
If not that, it must be all of the little NAFO fellows over the Kerch Bridge when it was exploding and on fire.
You can never touch my town. I deport all the immigrants so they don't turn my...
Yeah, that was one of the best moments since the beginning of the war, is seeing the Kerch Bridge burning in flames. First it was scary because the drones are expensive and you don't want to crash or break them, and your first flight you don't know how the controls are really going to react, and then you realize it's the same as the simulator, and then your nerves calm a little bit, and yeah, you get used to it pretty quickly, and then it just becomes fun from that point onwards. It is by far the best part of the job. It's incredibly exhilarating having, you know, this screen strapped to your face and you're soaring like an eagle, wherever you're as high as you can go, a kilometer up, or skimming past the floor at 100 kilometers per hour. It's exhilarating.
Don't hit me, Tim. Yep, I actually saw you in the 3, 2, 1.
So I already had an amazing volunteer community of people in Lviv. At the time, I had 5 or 6 people that were just like waiting for the opportunity to be able to do something that would really help with the war effort. Very simply, I started going to the front lines with Ernest.
Міг зробити фото, де є руїни.
That's how the Russians do it, you know? Shooting at the people who are evacuating terrorism.
You're coming in hard and fast now. Fuck. Yeah. Final. Normal now, eh?
And there had to be someone to do something about it, and I decided that would be me. So with no idea how to build drones, we got a team together, learned from the very best, and started producing and sharing that message with the world.
I just went one time, like 10 kilometers close to the Russian border, and I didn't like it. You could see Russia, and I was like, oh no, let's turn around and go testing the drones. The worst is buying the parts, and assembly is also great, but drone testing is the best. And doing new drones and talking to the soldiers is very, very good to see what their needs are, to send them their drones, to get the feedback from them, and then the videos of how there are less Russians in Ukraine.
The biggest need at the time was FPV drones, and we were in the command center seeing all of the feeds from these big thermal drones and kind of understanding that they needed more of these FPVs to actually be able to hit the targets. because we had no artillery. We had no way of killing these Russians. They were just running around freely, and we just had to watch them. Yes, it is true. We are making the cheapest drones, but also the highest quality drones in Ukraine, and donating all of them to the army. And we can do that completely free of charge because of amazing people donating online. And because everyone is volunteers and we just charge the parts cost. There will never be enough drones made. And yes, the army is constantly requesting. We have so many requests right now which we would love to fulfill. We would love to get more and more drones out to the military. But unfortunately, we can't even get the costs for just the parts, the drone parts. My favorite one, the bigger the better, the larger the impact. And now we're starting to experiment with bombers and vampires, you know, drones that are bigger than your house. It's very hard to think about the future because we always need to think about the next 24 hours of how we will be helping Ukraine. But yeah, I see a bright and prosperous Ukraine that's filled with multiculturalism because the whole world now knows that Ukraine exists and its beauty, and so many people will come here, and it's going to be an incredible, thriving country which will hold on to its culture. Well, when we take Crimea, I'll have a beautiful house looking over the sea in Crimea. So that is the plan. Yeah. In terms of the future of what we're doing now and the work, my dream and my want and everything I'm thinking about right now and I dream of every night is to build a big enough plane that we can assist in the efforts of destroying every bit of oil infrastructure in Russia.
Thank you so much, and дуже дякую to General Zaluzhny for awarding me with this medal for assistance to the armed forces of Ukraine for the past year and a half. Slava Ukraini, e do перемоги!